Hello guys and welcome to another React. Today we're going to watch Struggling with Gen Z's Attachment Issues by suburbanwill. It's another video I've heard of, seen someone react to, figure I would maybe try it. Sure, let's watch this video.
You ever have that one person in your life where it feels like you two are never on the same page? Like you tell them you like chocolate, but they always get you vanilla, or you two can never decide on what show you want to watch, or they just don't get your sense of humor, so every time you try to make a joke, it's really awkward.
No, I actually don't have anyone like that in my life, because if I did, I don't think we would get along well enough for any kind of social relationship to even exist, you know what I mean? So
People can be very different sometimes, and this makes connecting with others hard. I've talked before about how as we're getting older, Gen Z is struggling with things like making new friends and starting relationships. Obviously, the simple solution is to just put yourself out there more and reach out to people. But things are often easier said than done. Every day, people are writing think pieces and posting TikToks about red flags, or complaining about how fake all their friends are. And sure, some of these things are valid. Dealing with people you care about can
I'm not gonna lie, the only time I've only heard about red flags twice. Number one, in high school, they taught us about them for the purpose of relationships. And number two, from Matt 9, talking about anime. And those are the only two times I've ever heard about red flags, ever.
can cause a lot of stress sometimes. I've even seen people who prefer to talk to an AI.
What did that say? Can you respond as a thick Latino with an attitude? Does that actually work? Is that a thing? I want to try that now. I legitimately don't know if I'm like allowed to do this, but let's ask it. Yes. Yes, it does work. I didn't think that that would work. I didn't... What? What? This works? What did that say in the title? It said Actuid Latina en Action or something. I don't know what that was, but wow, it actually can do this. I didn't think it would. I thought it would be like if you ask, you know, Google or Siri or Cortana something and they're like, sorry, I don't do that. No, it actually does that.
People who prefer to talk to an AI instead of a real person. Because
I didn't know we were there.
Dealing with people is too complicated. Could you hit 4, please? Thanks.
That's already kind of awkward. Just hit the button yourself, man. Like, I'm from New York City. You don't ask someone to hit the button. You just hit the button. Just nobody... You don't stand up against the button unless there's no other room in the elevator. Otherwise, you just stand in the back so anyone else can hit the button.
Hot one out there today, huh?
You don't talk to someone in an elevator. Or don't... No. All right, look. I'm a millennial. Let me tell you. You do not just talk to someone in an elevator. You're trapped in a metal box going somewhere and you might get stuck like in the movies. You don't just start a conversation in an elevator. That's like starting a conversation in the bathroom. Like, you just don't do that.
Yeah, today is quite warm with a high of 88 degrees and a low of 56 degrees. Thanks for the report, weatherman. By the way, those are some nice shoes.
Who the fuck compliments shoes? Just gonna like tear into this one. Can you imagine being in public and someone saying your shoes are nice? I can't. Maybe I just don't wear nice shoes, but that just sounds so weird.
Really like the color. Thank you.
I mean, his shoes are the same color as his hoodie, man.
Are essential for protecting one's feet as well as providing support for the spine and skeletal system.
They are? I thought they were just for the feet. What do you mean they support the spine? Huh?
What? Wait, are you using ChatGPT to respond to me in real time? I think this is my floor. But whether...
That's awesome. Can you do that too? Wouldn't you have to type out everything that he says though? Isn't that a thing? That's pretty funny, though. That is pretty funny. I got in a back and forth with customer service once that was so unhelpful. I just got ChatGPT to respond to them, because if you're gonna pay someone to waste my time, then I'm just gonna waste your time with ChatGPT instead of typing out my own fucking message, dude.
Whether it's friends, family, or someone you're dating, relationships are a two-way street. A few years ago, I learned about a concept called attachment styles, and they helped me identify some of my own behaviors that were affecting my relationships with people. I think that when you know how to find some of my own...
What have you thought? Have you thought about what to name our kids?
...own behaviors that were affecting...
Dude, we just met 5 minutes ago. But women do this. Unless I just meet weird women. This is like what they're all like, is it not? Like, they just immediately want to talk about getting married and having kids. At least that's all the women I meet.
My relationships with people. I think that when you know how you and someone are different, it makes it easier to find the things you have in common. And that's why knowing your attachment style can be helpful for not only having healthy relationships, but starting new ones too. So if you've never heard of it, an attachment style is basically just the way you connect with other people. And there are 3 main ways to be attached to someone. Anxious.
The characters he's using, like, I recognize some of them, not most of them, and they're just really confusing my head. Because I'm inserting the attitudes and etc. of those characters into what he's putting. It's really weird.
Attachment, avoidant attachment, and secure attachment. A lot of people like to think they're pretty secure, but at least when it comes to Gen Z, not many people actually are. For example, anxious attachment. People with an anxious attachment style tend to have a negative view of themselves and a positive view of others.
Well, I have a negative view of everybody, but if I had to guess which one was my attachment style, it's probably this one.
And this causes them to have fears of being abandoned by people in their lives.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Anxiously attached people like to seek a lot of validation and reassurance from their loved ones. Being an anxiously attached person is constantly battling with the feeling of wanting to be close with other people, while also feeling like other people don't want to be close with you. The best part about an anxious attachment style is that I am one of these people myself. And sometimes it's hard to accept that you aren't as secure as you thought you were. I remember the first time I took a test, and when it said I was a 95% match for an anxious attachment style.
Take a test and it says, bro, you're anxious as fuck, Lamau.
I was like, nah, like this can't be right. I don't have a negative.
I'm being completely honest, no offense. You sound verbally exactly like someone that would say nah to something like that. But clearly, since this video exists, I'm guessing you've decided that you do have what it said you have.
Negative view of myself. I'm the GOAT. And I don't think all of my friends are gonna abandon me. But the thing about me is that I could be hanging out with my friends all day, and the moment someone says they're ready to go home, I immediately get sad. I could be tired and ready to go home myself. But in my head, I'm like, who knows when we'll see each other again? It could be a year or 10 years. What if this is our last time hanging out ever and we don't even know it?
I say stuff like that as a joke, entirely as a joke. I get sad too whenever like there's a big hangout and it's time to go, but only because, I don't know why actually. It's just because it's over, I guess.
Thing about attachment styles is that on paper they seem simple, but in practice it can be hard to recognize your anxious attachment tendencies because they look different for everybody. It can even be something simple like that.
Who is this character and why do you keep using him? He's sticking his tongue out like a fucking weirdo, man.
One friend who gets mad at you for not watching the 70 TikToks they send you every day. But another big thing with anxiously...
Man, yo, I get sent I don't even like shorts. Why? Vertical videos are the stupidest thing since Gen Z. Bro, I don't want to watch vertical videos. I don't care if it's a short. I don't care if it's a TikTok. You know, for the longest time, these vertical videos didn't even have volume bars. They expected you to only control it through your phone. So they didn't put volume bars. So if you were on your computer, the only way to control the volume was your hardware volume, not the volume. Somehow, they made them and said, oh, this thing right here, they don't need that. What a stupid fucking idea.
Attached people is that they are very sensitive to change.
That right there, the lack of a volume slider has ruined shorts for me forever. I will never like them.
Changes in tone
Never.
or mood.
Especially because they can only be uploaded in like a vertical format. Like, just call it a phone video then. It's not a short then, unless short attention spans only go with phones. Like, I don't know. It's stupid.
Sounds good. Thanks. Period. Do you hate me? What? No. Why would you ask that? What kind of psycho ends a text message with a period?
This is every woman I've ever met in my entire life. And I've met a lot of women. Okay, well, not all of them, but like, 95% of them. I had to change how I typed as a teenager because all the girls told me they always thought I hated them because I typed like an asshole. Which meant I typed with normal grammar. Just English. I typed English. And so that must mean that I hated them. So they got mad at me and they said I would make them cry and stuff. And oh my God, it was so much worse when it was someone you're dating. Oh, because now the problem's not just like them approaching you as a friend. Hey, you don't hate me, right? Okay, we're good. No, and now it's like, I thought you were supposed to love me. Why do you hate me? And oh my God. I hate it. I hate it so much. And then PTSD. I have PTSD from individuals like this. And you know what? Now that I think about it, every single person that did that to me was a Zoomer. Now that I think about it. Solution. Don't date Zoomers. Don't befriend Zoomers. Problem. That means everyone has to be older than me, basically, because I was born at the last year to be a millennial. So,
What? That's just proper grammar. Everyone knows
exactly
that you end a text with LOL, LMAO, or a laughing emoji, so I know you're not serious.
You know what's so stupid is that this wasn't even a rule. This wasn't a meme. When I would get yelled at for typing mean, because everybody else typed in text speak. They didn't type periods and they didn't type full words. There wasn't that yet. That was not a thing yet. You notice nobody types in text speak anymore, by the way? So I came up with, I'm not saying I made this up, but to solve the issue, I didn't want to type in text speak because I didn't want to sound like a fucking retard. So I started typing LOL, LMAO, raffle, smiley face, equals P, after every message so that they knew I didn't hate them. I started doing that. And, maybe I was one of the many that contributed to this being a problem because text speak is gone. And now if this is what they expect, well, I'm sorry. I played my part in it. I didn't. Why? Why can't you just speak English?
What are you talking about? It's just a period. Are you raising your voice at me? No, I'm not raising my voice.
Zoomers have done that to me too. While I was streaming, I was just saying hello and talking to someone that was a Zoomer that showed up in my chat. And because I raised my voice at him, because I'm enunciating, because I'm projecting my voice so you can hear me. Otherwise, well, if I was just speaking normally, I would sound like this. And I have a compressor on, so maybe it's not as obvious, the difference between talking like this and talking like this. There's a big difference. I'm not raising my fucking voice. I don't hate you. But the guy was so sure I hated him and that I was being an asshole. And, like, is this a real thing? Like, that wasn't just a troll. This is, like, a real thing? Oh, my God. This video is triggering me so badly. We're 4 minutes in. It's been, like, 15 minutes of recording. Dude, I can't believe... I can't even.
Really? Screaming at me right now. No, I'm not. Oh my God.
This has happened to me.
You literally hate me. You literally hate me and you want me to die. No,
That's what the guy said. That's what the guy on Twitch said.
no, that's not. Ugh. And naturally, attachment styles aren't just about your friendships. In fact, I would say they're even
I hate it, because was that even supposed to be a parody? Or is this really what Zoomers are like? Because I've encountered this, you know?
more important when it comes to dating. And dealing with an anxiously attached partner can be a lot of work. And being anxiously attached in a relationship feels terrible.
What does the duck say? Welcome to my crib. Okay.
Hey, I'm back. Hey, where have you been all day? I was just hanging out with my friend Alex, just catching up. Alex is a gender neutral name. I can't.
Why is so much of this video reminding me of my ex? One of the only exes that was a Zoomer at that. They'd have to be 1 year younger than me to be a Zoomer. Most individuals I've dated were my age, so.
Tell if he was hanging out with a guy or another girl. Oh, I don't think I've ever heard you talk about Alex. Where do you know each other from? Oh, me and Alex go way.
No. They're never that subtle. It's, who's she? That's what they say. They want you to just go like, oh no, Alex is good, so they can immediately just get it out of the way.
Way back. We used to do everything together. I see. Alex must have played basketball with you too, huh? You know, on the men's team. Oh, nah.
If they were going to do that, they would have said, who's she at the beginning. They wouldn't have just decided to do that right now.
Alex wasn't really into sports. We met in English class, actually. Oh, okay. By the way, is Alex short for anything? Like, I don't know, Alexander? It's funny you say that, but Alex is just Alex. It's not short for anything, actually. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's unbelievable, actually. Oh, I gotta tell you about what we did at prom together, too. You know what? I got some errands to run. Have fun with Alex. Did I do something?
Women.
A lot of times, anxious attachment styles are associated with women, and men are
I mean, a little bit. I mean, come on.
thought to be more avoidant. But there are plenty of anxious men out there too. But a lot of guys try to act nonchalant so they don't seem clingy. I know plenty of guys, when their girl is going out, they're like,
No, I meet someone, and when that person's still my friend, we're not even dating, I will tell that person, by the way, I'm clingy as fuck. I just get it out of the way right there and then. And they're like, oh, well, it can't be that bad. I'm like, oh, no, it is. Like, once upon a time, when I was dating someone, and then she went up to go to the bathroom, I would start fake crying so that she wouldn't leave. So no, I'm serious. I'm entirely serious. And then this will, they'll get to see it later. Just the other day, someone I told that to a long time ago, we were just chilling, speaking, talking, hanging out. And then she had to go do something. And I did the same thing where it was time to go. So I just started sending GIFs in Discord of a bunch of crying anime girls. Just instead of saying goodbye, just, here's a bunch of crying anime girls. Here you go. Enjoy. There you go. So it's just everywhere.
bro, I'm chilling. I don't care what she doing for real. Buddy's up all night checking her location every 5 minutes. Anxiously attached men are just as common and can be equally as dramatic. Okay, babe.
It's me. That's me.
I'm going out with the girls tonight. You sure you're gonna be okay?
No.
Babe, it's fine.
Crying GIFs.
I'm a real man. I'm not insecure. I trust you.
Real men are insecure.
You're the best. I'll text you once we're at the bar, okay? Love you. All right, later. Have fun. Be safe. What am I gonna do? Why hasn't she called me yet? It's been 2 whole minutes.
Okay, I don't do this.
Her ex is there and she didn't even tell me.
I don't do this.
Sarah's probably convincing her to cheat on me right now. You know, I knew she never liked me. I mean, what?
All right, well, I never feel like anyone's going to cheat on me. I never have that as a
Kind of
fear.
girl goes out without her boyfriend anyway? She probably already found someone else and forgot about me. I bet he's taller than me too. But I've been drinking so much that I'll call anyway and say, fuck. Hey babe, I'm back. Back already? I was enjoying some peace and quiet. Yeah, it was fun, but Sarah had way too much to drink, so we left the bar early and just chilled at her place. Classic Sarah. Gotta love her, right? How was your night? Had fun? Oh yeah, I just chilled. Definitely didn't have an emotional breakdown or anything like that. Having an anxious attachment style isn't
So yeah, I'm definitely the anxious type. I don't do what he did. I kind of do what the girl does, I think, instead. Although I feel like when I date someone, usually, and they have the anxious style, they do what both the girl and the guy did at the same time.
Isn't easy. And even if you're aware that you aren't thinking rationally, sometimes you can't stop feeling the way you feel. So it's important that you set boundaries for yourself. And as an anxious person myself, this is hard. Everyone knows that it's not a good idea to get upset and go crazy on your partner just because they were slow to respond to a text or because they spent time with a friend. But I think one thing anxiously attached people tend to do is blame themselves for everything wrong in their relationships. Trust me, I know how it feels to be so desperate for someone's attention that you let them walk all over you and your feelings. To want things to work out with a person, someone's attention.
Just asking, is it too much to just text me back?
You let them walk.
For a man, you're way too clingy. Grow up. Are men not allowed to be clingy? Did you not just hear my story about myself? I think it's funny, is it not?
Walk all over you and your feelings. To want things to work out with a person so badly that you let everything be your fault just to keep them happy. Every time you try to express yourself, it becomes an argument when you're the one being ignored, but somehow you're always the one who ends up apologizing. It's not always your fault. You're not always overreacting. Sometimes people do mistreat you. You probably wish that you didn't care so much, that you could just be like other people and just say, forget this person. It's tiring pretending to not care just to see if someone else does, but you're not wired that way, and that's okay. Sometimes others are quick to assume that all anxious people are clingy, selfish, and insecure.
Always
but
crying.
Anxiously attached people care a lot about their loved ones. They're just chronic overthinkers. So don't fill your head up telling yourself things like if they wanted to, they would, and try to work on actually
stupid.
telling your friends.
If they wanted to, they would. That for what, like a relationship? No, because sometimes they just don't know that that's what you expect. A lot of time, that's what it is. If they wanted to, they would is like, you already expressed that something is important to you. Everyone sees not just romantic, but friendships, types of relationships differently. Everybody has a different idea of what that is and what that entails. So unless you have expressed and agreed upon an expectation as being mutually agreed upon, then no. You know, like that doesn't happen.
And partners what you need from them. If they do care, they'll at least try. And the biggest and hardest part,
as I say, I think I'm looking for is someone who actually seems like they like me.
From them. If they do,
in that case, I think I know a girl who would be perfect for you. How do you know a girl that seems like she likes him?
Care, they'll at least try. And the biggest and
I like that girl a lot. I should probably give her some time before I hit her up again.
Hardest thing people with an anxious attachment style need to learn is how to give people space.
Nice place. Did you really follow me home?
When you and someone you care about aren't seeing eye to eye, you might be in a rush to want to fix things before they can abandon you forever. Sometimes people just need time to figure things.
Listen, I like you a lot, but I'm really upset right now.
And pressuring them to talk before they're ready isn't going to do either of you any good. And also, sometimes anxious people need space too, even though we're pretty bad at taking it for ourselves. Your instinct is to rush to patch things up with someone before
is your roommate
they
here?
Can walk out of your life, but sometimes you need to reflect on what went wrong so you can actually grow from it. So
dude, there's so much slang in this video I don't understand, dude. Like, did you see that last one?
Sometimes,
bro, I cannot fumble her. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Is that more Zoomer slang? Because how do you fumble a person? Like, you pick them up and then you just drop them? I don't understand.
Sometimes you need to reflect on what went wrong so you can actually grow from it. So learn.
What the fuck was that?
But sometimes you need to reflect on what went wrong so you can.
I'm sorry. Hey, WSG. Can I come out? What is WSG? Is that like MSG? The fuck is all this slang?
actually grow from it. So learn to take space for yourself too. You'll honestly feel a lot better when you do. The people in your life do care about you and value you. People really do notice when you go the extra mile for them, and hopefully they'll learn to let you know that. Just remember that if people aren't responding to you, it might not be because they hate you, but rather because you have a bad habit. If people aren't responding to you, it might not.
Nah, this was mad funny. Gotta send it to bro. This slang. There's just so much of it.
Not be because they hate you, but rather because you have a bad habit of texting people at 3 a.m.
I hate that, man. I mean, message me whenever you want. Just don't expect a response, you know? Even if it's the middle of the day, don't expect a response. I grew up with emails and AIM. You can't just have access to someone whenever you want. Just because I'm online does not mean I'm looking at your messages. Just because I have an alert does not mean I'm going to look at it. I have lost friends because they expected me to look at the alert all the damn time effectively and read it instantly and reply in one sentence as soon as possible. And they're always Zoomers, by the way. These are always Zoomers.
Other end, you have people with an avoidant attachment style. Avoidant people are kind of the opposite of anxious people because they tend to have a positive view of themselves and a negative view of others. So while an anxious person likes to seek validation and closeness with others, an avoidant person prefers to avoid that. And
I mean, I think I'm the anxious type, but I definitely have a negative view of others, but I don't try to avoid others generally, I think.
For me, many of the people in my life are avoidant. And an anxious person dealing with an avoidant person is a bad combo. Avoidants are people who need a lot of space. And if it's not given to them, they take it anyway. So trying to pull an avoidant person back into your life when they're pushing you away only makes them push even harder. I think that avoidant attachment styles are more commonly associated with men, since men are known to be more closed off and don't like talking about our feelings. Like many avoidant people, men
emotions are for girls, bro.
Tend to see emotions as a distraction.
You just gotta bottle it up until you explode like a real man. That's right. just keep it all in, or all like 17 years of marriage until just all that's left of you as a human being is your undesirable urge to beat your wife.
Distraction, and that they should be minimized as much as possible. They also like to
that way you can go ahead, get it over with, go to jail, and then be what feminists are talking about for the next 10 years as an example of why it's totally good that the Swedish Feminist Party proposed in the EU every year nonstop to send all men to re-education camps to learn how to treat women, and that nobody cared about that at all. But like one white guy sneezes in America, and that means racism is in full force, and blacks better run for their lives because we're coming after them all, apparently. I don't know what started that little tangent, but I've lived a long life, okay?
Independent.
I've seen a lot of shit.
As well, not needing to rely on others for emotional support or reassurance. Dealing with avoidance can be difficult because they don't like to express their emotions or talk about how they're feeling at all. I remember I liked a girl who was very avoidant a lot, but trying to talk to her sometimes was genuinely like talking to a rock. And this way of shutting people out can cause you to think that avoidant people don't care about you or that they're cold and heartless people. Avoidants get a lot of hate because many people have been hurt by avoidance in the past, including me. But many of them really are kind people and they do care a lot, but they don't always know how to deal with their own emotions, let alone other people's. So it's easier to just pretend that you don't feel them. A lot of times, the more an avoidant person likes you, the more they try to push you away.
That's funny. Excuse me.
Deal with their own emotions.
I heard you say you like chocolate, but they got you vanilla.
So it's easier to just pretend.
So here on the house
that you don't feel them. A lot of times.
Wow, that's really nice of you.
The more an avoidant person likes you, the more they.
Are you trying to steal my organs? I can be avoidant a little bit, but like I'm more avoidant with I'm avoidant with someone that I think has expectations of me, because expectations freak me the fuck out, because it's usually something that someone else has decided for you that you did not agree to, and anytime you go around that person, you're going to be exposed to those expectations. You know what I mean? Like, for example, someone expecting you to wear a suit and tie somewhere. I don't own a suit and tie. Where the fuck do you think I'm going to get that for this one random thing where this expectation is going to be relevant? I'm not going to have it, and I'm sure as hell not going to go buy new clothes for some one-off thing. I'm going to show up in the clothes that I own because I don't have a lot of money. But then maybe the avoidance can go even further, because then the person's like, well, maybe I'll buy you a suit and tie. Then you can go to things where they expect you to have a suit and tie. I'm like, well, the expectation is still going to make me nervous and anxious and freaked out and stressed out. Number two, why would I want to go to places that place these ridiculous expectations on me? That is so weird. Would you go somewhere that expected you to do a flip every time you showed up? Just a random front flip every time you showed up. Do it. Otherwise, insert a plethora of negative interpretations of you, your character, everything about you. Why would you willingly go into a situation like that? I don't know, but people do it all the time. But they don't understand that it's weird unless you put it in a weird situation like front flips or back flips being expected of you. When it's buying some specific kind of clothing and wearing it, suddenly it's understandable and everybody gets it because they're used to it. But it's still just as weird and not human. You know, I keep going off on a lot of rants in this video.
They try to push you away because they're afraid of what someone might do when they're allowed to be vulnerable. A lot of men are avoidant because they're afraid that their vulnerability will be seen as weakness. They don't like talking about what bothers them because they're worried it could be used against them. And it's not only men. Avoidant women are others. They're afraid that
I don't feel like I'm good enough. People constantly say I'm overrated and I'll never be LeBron.
Vulnerability will be seen as weakness. They don't
you
like
know
talking
what?
about what bothers
you
them.
You are overrated. You'll never be as good as LeBron.
Them. And it's not.
I don't even know who LeBron is.
Only men. Avoidant women are just as common. So how's things going with that guy you've been talking to? Honestly, they're great. He's the sweetest, kindest person I've ever met. He listens to me. He makes me feel safe. And I feel like I can just be myself around him.
Couldn't you have picked a different face for this? Not the guy sticking his tongue out.
Wow, that's so good. So you really like him? Yeah, I do like him. Too much. Wait, what? He's everything I've ever wanted in a guy, but that makes me feel weak. So I haven't texted or called him back in 2 days. What? Why? I don't know. When we're apart, I miss him so much, but when we're together, I just feel like I need space. Well, don't you think you should reach out and talk to him if that's how you feel? Probably. But I think I'm gonna wait for him to quadruple text me first. Don't you think he'll be upset that you haven't spoken to him? I'll just tell him I've been busy. But really, I've just been distracting myself so I don't have to confront my emotions. You've got some serious issues. Yeah, my therapist said the same thing.
I was gonna say, this bitch needs some therapy. I don't what can fix that, but you're not gonna have any kind of platonic or otherwise relationships that work ever at all if this is how you behave.
Avoidant people need space. And honestly, you're entitled to that. Sometimes being around people and catering to their feelings can prevent you from focusing on your own. However, if you care about the people in your life, you should probably communicate when you're about to go ghost. In my experience, avoidant people have a tendency to just disappear. Everything will be going great between you two, and you feel like you're getting closer to this person, and then boom, they stop responding to you.
I have known individuals that have done stuff like this, but here's the thing. It's like I've spoken to someone for years and they don't seem, none of them seem avoidant at all. Very outgoing, in fact. And then randomly, that person will just develop this habit of leaving for a year, coming back, talking to you for maybe a couple hours, leaving for another year, and coming back. And I find this, I don't know if this counts as the avoidant thing, but I don't know how to deal with this. In my head, that if you just go away for a year, that means you don't want to talk to me. Maybe that's because of the anxious thing. But I feel like that's normal. I don't know. You tell me what you think in the comments. Is that normal or is that anxious? So when someone goes away for a year, especially if they make a habit of it, I will just remove them because it's like, okay, I don't play anything with this person. This person never talks to me. They're always MIA for a year. This is not a friendship. This is not a whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And then they come back later, you know, it's time to come back after another year. And it's all like, oh, why did you remove me? Do you hate me? What did I do wrong? It's like, what did you left for a year 3 times. What do you mean? How do you not see anything wrong with that? You didn't say that you were going to be gone, but you'd be back. There was no prompt. There was no apology. There was no explanation. There was no nothing. It just happens. You just go and you hang out with these others and you do these other things. And then you just randomly show up and I'm supposed to just keep you added. What if I have a limit on the friends list? I played a game, it had 200, max 200, some had max 100. I need to clear up. I might not even remember who you are if enough time passes, man. Maybe you change your name too much on the platform. I don't know. Is this normal or is this anxious? You tell me in the comments.
And then a while later, they pop back up like nothing happened. This sucks.
I
there
cannot.
Are a lot of people
I don't understand it, man. Because, you know, they leave for a year and they just pop back up like nothing happened. I don't understand that. Is it just me? There's something wrong with that, right? You have an active friendship, maybe for years, and then you just leave for like a year. And then, do you know how many individuals I've known that have done this? It's a pretty high number, to be honest. I don't understand how you can do that and not see anything wrong with it. At least, like, apologize. Hey, sorry, but if you do it 3 times in a row, then it's going to be like, well, you're not sorry then. So like, but I don't think they see anything wrong with it to begin with to apologize about. So I don't understand.
Social media who see no issue with this. The truth is,
oh, that was way too much slang for me to read and understand. It said low key like twice. I hate it. Kill me now.
That while you might feel like you want to disappear sometimes, there are still people in your life who care about you. And just going ghost can cause them to worry about your well-being or even your relationship with them.
Bro, I had someone go ghost, to steal his Zoomer slang. Someone just up and leave for a year, like I just said. And then he comes back. And then he said he was worried about me because he thought I died. This is the most recent one. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that someone could disappear for a year for the 3rd time and then have the audacity to say that he thought I died, that something bad happened to me. What? Dude, it is insanity. I don't understand these individuals at all.
You don't need to give people your whole life story, but you're also not the only person in the world who goes through things. Just reaching out to let people know you need some time to yourself is something everyone can understand. It's easy to demonize avoidant people as cold and uncaring. And a lot of times, they've already told themselves the same thing. They know they're bad at reaching out, but after so long, they start thinking you don't like them anymore, so they shut you out even more. So unfortunately, when dealing with an avoidant person, you're probably gonna have to swallow your pride and do most of the reaching out yourself. Even if they're the one in the wrong and they want to apologize.
I know one person like this. I know one singular person that is like this. Maybe 2. I have one friend that's like this. I have one fan that's like this. The examples I was describing doesn't really match this, but it's related, I think.
You kind of have to be the one to leave the door open for them. And while an anxious person would sprint through the door, an avoidant person would leave the door open for them. And while an anxious person
I'm sorry.
would sprint through the door, an avoidant person will wait for you to come drag them inside and lock the door behind them. One of the hardest things to do with an avoidant person is getting them to open up. They can be extremely guarded and even defensive, which can be frustrating to deal with. Yeah, he's great, but I just can't get him to open up and be vulnerable with me. He's so
well, that's because you're a girl and guys don't open up to girls because girls nag and nag that they want that. And then whenever they do it, they think you're a wuss and then leave you.
Closed off sometimes. Yeah, guys can be like that. Has he ever opened up with you before? Not really, but there was this one time we got in a fight over something.
I like how this behavior that's trained into guys by girls is something that girls will just stereotype into guys. It's like your preferences and your actions have caused this. It's not guys that can be like this. It's girls that can cause this.
Kind of petty. Yo, look, they got Goku.
I don't know why I'm arguing with girls when this is one guy narrating all of this, but
cereal. I gotta cop these. Really?
This is a form of torture to me. Hearing all of this Zoomer slang is a form of torture to me.
You're gonna spend extra money on cereal just because there's an anime character on it? Oh, yeah. I guess it is kind of silly, huh? Dang.
No. No. Why do you buy Cocoa Puffs? Why do you buy Frosted Flakes? There's store versions of all of those things that are cheaper.
That was kind of cold. Yeah, but I didn't realize it meant that much to him. I tried to apologize.
Well, I mean, go back. Look at that situation. I'm sorry. Wait, let's look at the whole situation.
Over something kind of petty. Or not really, but there was this one time we got in a fight over something kind of petty. Yo, look, they got Goku cereal. I gotta cop these. Really? You're gonna spend extra money on cereal just because there's an anime character on it? Oh, yeah.
Like, that was kind of a dick thing to do. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, it's more expensive. Are you sure that's what you want? It's another thing to say, really? You're gonna spend more money on that cereal because there's an anime character on it? That's bullying. You're bullying him. What a surprise that he would not want to open up to you. You know?
It is kind of silly, huh? Dang. That was kind of cold. Yeah, but I didn't realize it meant that much to him.
It doesn't have to mean a lot. You don't. Why am I arguing with some guy's narration of a girl? It doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. You're just bullying him.
I had to apologize, but he kept telling me I didn't get it, but he wouldn't tell me why. It's just cereal. Well, I don't think it's about
It's not cereal. You bullied him. Oh my, it didn't even happen, bro. I'm getting pissed off.
Yeah, think about it this way. If you made him feel judged over something as petty as cereal, why would he feel comfortable coming to you about something more serious? Something
right?
More serial. Sorry.
No, don't apologize for that. Puns are good. Zoomer slang is bad. Give me more puns, less Zoomer slang.
I guess you're right. I didn't really think about it that way.
Why is that logo backwards?
I gotta go make a trip. Later. Vulnerability is a privilege, and with some people, you have to work a little harder to earn it. Personally, I find it easy to share things about myself with other people, but others need to really... Personally,
so yeah,
I find it easy to share things.
That's why I can't go back to Serbia.
Things about myself with other people, but others need to really make sure they can trust you before they open.
Is it bad that the first thing I thought was, do Zoomers even know where Serbia is?
No. If you do something to make someone feel judged...
What is this character even doing? I just noticed the hand. What? Because like the whole character's not this anime thing. The face is just put over that. Whatever the original model is doing, it's like undressing. Have you noticed that? I just did.
For being who they are, they might not feel comfortable sharing more about themselves. With avoidance, you have to earn the right to truly get to know them. Online, a lot of people like to paint anxious and avoidant people as two different ends of a spectrum, but I think they're more like two sides of the same coin. They both need a lot of reassurance that they matter to the people they care about. They just have different ways of going about it. An anxious person will cling to you, and an avoidant person will push you away. But this isn't to say that you should expect someone to put up with this forever, though. It can get exhausting constantly having to cater to an anxious person's expectations, or having to wait 3 business days for an avoidant person to text you back. You can do your best to accommodate other people, but you also deserve to have your emotional needs met too. People can only be patient for so long before they get tired of waiting. It sucks feeling like you're not allowed to be friends with people because your anxious boyfriend feels threatened by every single person you know. Not allowed to be
talking to someone.
Friends with people because you're anxious.
Crying. You like him more than me, don't you?
His boyfriend feels threatened by every...
Babe, that man is 65 years old.
Every single person you know. And it also sucks feeling pathetic because you're...
To be fair, women like older men. You specified his age. You did not specify how much money he has and if he has life insurance.
Your avoidant girlfriend ignores you all day and doesn't like saying I love you to people. The goal is to keep working.
What did that say?
Ignores you all day and doesn't like
I FW you heavy big bruh. What the fuck? I can't even begin to decipher this. I'm sorry. What? What? Is this how kids speak? Dude, I remember like baby boomers didn't like millennials because we said yo and bro. Like that was the worst of it. That was all we said that pissed them off, really. And now kids say I FW you heavy big bruh. This is a different language. This isn't okay.
Like saying I love you to people. The goal is to keep working on yourself so that we can all work towards a more secure attachment style. Secure attachment is the best of both worlds.
Are you saying I have to change? Why would I do that?
Securely attached people tend to not only have a positive view of themselves, but also others as well as their relationships. Secure people are comfortable with both closeness and independence, and rarely experience worries of being alone or not being accepted by others. A lot of people think of themselves as secure, but honestly, I don't think there's a such thing as being 100% secure.
I think I'm like half secure, half anxious.
Everyone has some degree of...
Or no, maybe I'm like 50% anxious. 40% secure and maybe 10% avoidant.
Avoidance or anxiousness. That's
I don't know.
Normal. But being secure is more about recognizing those tendencies and managing them as well as your expectations. And it's also about recognizing how other people become attached to you as well.
The name says Unk. What on earth?
Securely attached people aren't perfect and logical people. Oftentimes, logic isn't the best way to deal with relationships anyway. What secure people are good at are boundaries. Not only setting them, but clearly communicating what they are. Secure people get anxious or they can be avoidant at times too. But they know this about...
that word's come up like 4 times in this video. What the fuck is a shoddy? What is that? What the fuck does that mean? I can't... If I didn't read any of this text, this video would be a lot easier to understand, but I'm reading all the text too. Maybe I've been overthinking it. Maybe it's not English.
Themselves and try to keep those habits in check. Relationships come with challenges, but by no means should they be difficult. So don't make them difficult. Communicate with people. Don't go ghost, but also be willing to give
but like right there, he says go ghost. With my upbringing, that would mean something completely different to what I'm assuming he means. On the bright side, if all these child censorship laws get passed and Gen Alpha never makes it onto the internet, they won't be able to make their own slang to begin with. Thus, we won't have the problem of Gen Z making an entire new language out of stupid ass slang and Fortnite dancing ever again.
Space. Be understanding and forgiving to the people you care about, and give others a chance to get to know you. Know when you're getting...
Oh, come on. I was gonna laugh can you tell me more about Goku? Because that's just so funny. It's to imagine someone saying, and then it immediately goes into Zoomer slang. I'm gonna rant about Zoomer slang,
Getting attached too quickly and might need to take a step back, but also know when you're the one preventing yourself from forming deeper connections with people. I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I just like sharing the things that I've learned.
I don't think my focus on the anxious style would stop me from making deeper relationships with anybody. Because if I'm so clingy that they can't get away from me, how can we really be closer? That's all I'm saying.
In case it helps someone else. I think we all want better ways to connect with each other. So remember to put yourself out there and be patient. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, and thanks for 60K.
Nice.
Peace.
Nice. Awesome. Well, obviously, wow, dude, I think this is the most I've ever stretched a video out. I had a lot to say in this video about the topic, about things it reminded me of, and about how much Zoomer slang hurts my goddamn head. So, hope you enjoyed watching this. If you want to see any other reacts, leave some suggestions in the comments. No links though, YouTube will eat those right up. So go ahead and leave any links you have in the Discord in the description below. If you want me to react to anything, that was a good video. I got really engaged with that one. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.